Memorial Day programming on your hometown station, 1430 WBEV, is presented by Centro Incorporated, Hometown Glass and Improvement, John Deere Horicon Works, McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Kirsch Foundry, and Air Care.
Good morning. My name is Del Yark. I'm the commander for AMVETS, and today I'm your master of ceremonies for this Memorial Day service. Thank you all for coming and for listening and watching us today at WBV Daily Dodge. I want to welcome all veterans, their families, their guests, and the community. Welcome Band Director Russell Diggins and Kyle Hendrickson and the Beaver Dam High School Band. Also Director Kim Lopez with the St. Catherine Drexel Marching Band. I also want to welcome Andy Miller, Dodge County Veteran Service Officer, who will be our speaker today. This Memorial Day is an extra special because we lost many veterans this past year, and some of their families were still unable to give them full honors for their service. AMVETS Chaplain Connie Martinson will be giving our benediction today. VFW Ty Leto will do the MIA POW scarf on the empty chair, followed by Connie Martinson. A POW MIA empty chair is placed at all official meetings that the veterans attend as a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW MIAs still unaccounted for from all wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this endeavor. Place the cover, please. Connie?
Almighty God, creator and sustainer of all life, we ask that your blessing may descend on us as we gather here today. We thank you for this opportunity to once more, in freedom, assemble to honor the veterans of our nation's armed forces.
Hi, Andy.
May we never forget those who made the supreme sacrifice so as to secure for our nation the blessings of life, liberty, and justice for all. May our observance be a timely reminder that our freedom was purchased at high cost and should not be taken for granted. Bless the families and friends of those we honor today, and bless the veterans who have come with memories, stories, and tears to enrich this day. Amen.
Thank you, Ty and Connie. St. Drexel's Marching Band, under Director Kim Lopez, Drum Majors Madeline Fry and Bernadette Ramirez, and Flag Corps Captain Maryswald will play Your Grand Old Flag. Thank you, Director Lopez, Drum Major Madeline Frey, and Bernadette Ramirez, and the Flag Corps Captain Maryswald, and the entire St. Catherine Drexel Band. Now, Chuck Staub will read a short poem. Here you go, Chuck.
Remembrance, author unknown. Upon this Memorial Day, we gather thankfully for God has given us the gift of memory that we might keep alive those we love. In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the skies and the warmth of the summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys and special celebrations we yearn to share, we remember them. When we see our nation's young marching our flag and hearing taps played, we remember them. So long as we live, they shall live, for they are part of us. And when we answer the final roll, we know that our brothers and sisters will fulfill their duty and greet us with the words of compassion and friendship, peace and love. Welcome home.
Thank you, Chuck, for that inspiring poem. We will now hear the Star Spangled Banner under direction of Kyle Hendrickson and the Beaver Dam High School Marching Band, and several singers from the band will accompany them. They are Elise Brown, Elise Mengen, Brenda Simon. And if you would, please join in and sing. Please stand, put your hand over your hearts. Veterans, present arms.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous night. On the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rippling, the bombs bursting in air, gave birth through the night. Yet our flag was still there. Say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? On the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order arms. Guests, you may be seated. Thank you, Director Hendrickson, singers, and the Beaver Dam High School Band. Now I'd like to invite Mayor Becky Gluen to say a few words. You want this removed? I'll put it over here. There you go.
Okay. Thankful. Every year at this time and many other times throughout the year, I reflect on the gift that I have received from those that have so selflessly given their lives for our country, for me, and for every one of you. Their selfless gift includes my everyday freedoms that I mostly take for granted, moving freely around my community and state, visiting new places nearby or around the world. The freedom to attend a church of my choosing, to make choices for my local, state, and national elected representatives, and to speak freely about my political opinions and not be imprisoned for doing so. There are many times I say a quick prayer of thankfulness when seeing my American Legion Auxiliary Poppy on my desktop. My level of gratitude has been elevated in 2022. Seeing Vladimir Putin leading Russia into a war against a peaceful, sovereign nation, Ukrainians fighting for their homes, their way of life, their actual lives. Just try to imagine losing family and friends' lives, summer baseball games, picnics and barbecues, going to a movie or out to eat, visiting with family and friends, and traveling, uprooting ourselves, leaving our homes behind while our communities are destroyed. The Ukrainians' plight and Memorial Day remind us that freedom isn't free. It comes with a mortal cost. Those that have died serving and protecting us here on our soil, as well as across the oceans and in deserts, help us to preserve our freedoms and our way of life, and I am so grateful. We gather together today to reflect on each and every hero that gave up their life for us, to remember that they were a loved one to others, and to make sure their memory is never forgotten, to honor them, to take time to make Memorial Day personal, to put a name with a face and understand what their sacrifice of life and the sacrifice of their families in losing their loved one means to each of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gluen. Today, the Marine Corps League member Dave Newey will read us a poem. Dave?
A hero's hero, author unknown. So many soldiers living on the street, their spirits broken with defeat. What must they think when they look around? Eyes passing by, staring at the ground? Does anger fill them when we turn away? From the debts we owe, that should be repaid. What if, at that moment, just once, instead, we saluted in honor, right hand to the head, to let them know they are not ghosts. Thanking them for being brave, braver than most, if everyone should show them grace, we just might find their pain erased. For all the heroes still fighting to live, and for heroes like you who continue to give. If you see someone who is really lost, please stop and remember what our freedom cost. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. We will now have a musical selection, God Bless the USA, by the Beaver Dam High School Band under the direction of Major Ella Rowe. Thank you to the Beaver Dam High School Band and drum major roll. We're about to start our memorial service. Before the memorial service begins, I have a few announcements to make. During the raising and lowering of the flags done by Ross O'Brien and Don Zillish and the Pledge of Allegiance, veterans in uniform are to remain covered and to salute when the pledge begins. Veterans not in uniform may salute or place their right hand over their heart. Civilians are to remove their hats and place their right hand over their heart. All righty. At my command, everyone come to attention. The American flag and Wisconsin flags will be placed at half-staff to be followed by America by Director Russell Diggins, the Beaver Dam High School Band, and citing of the Pledge of Allegiance led by representatives of several veterans organizations. They are Gert Herman, Marine League Auxiliary, Lois Levenhagen, American Legion Auxiliary, and Kathy O'Brien, AMVETS. All stand. Captain of the Honor Guard, Squad, and Veterans. Attain Hut. Present arms.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order arms. At ease. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. At this time, Jeff Krako, Marine Corps League, and David Noe, Marine Corps League, our next two speakers today, who will each read a poem. These poems are for all of our military personnel wherever they may be. So please support all the troops defending our country. Thanks to them and sacrifices, we can celebrate freedom every day. Go ahead.
Why Wear a Poppy by Dan Crawford. Please wear a poppy, the lady said, and held one forth, but I shook my head. Then I stopped, and as she watched as she offered them there, and her face was old and lined with care. But beneath the scars the years had made, there remained a smile that refused to fade. A boy came whistling down the street, bouncing along on carefree feet. His smile was full of joy and fun. "Lady," said he, "may I have one?" When she'd pinned it on, he turned to say, "Why do we wear a poppy today?" The lady smiled in her wistful way and answered, "This is Remembrance Day, and the poppy there is a symbol for the gallant men who died at war. And because they did, you and I are free. That's why we wear a poppy, you see. I had a boy about your size, with golden hair and big blue eyes. He loved to play and jump and shout. Free as a bird, he would race about. As years went by, he learned and grew, and became a man, as you will too. He was fine and strong with a boyish smile, but he seemed with us such a little while when war broke out, and he went away. I still remember his face that day, when he smiled at me and said goodbye. I'll be back soon, Mum. Please don't cry. But the war went on, and he had to stay, and all I could do was wait and pray. His letters told of the awful fight. I can see it still in my dreams at night, with the tanks and guns and cruel barbed wire, and the mines and bullets, the bombs and fire, till at last, the war was won. And that's why we wear a poppy, son. The small boy turned as if to go, then said, Thanks, lady, I'm glad to know. That sure did sound like an awful fight. But your son, did he come back all right? A tear rolled down each faded cheek. She shook her head, but couldn't speak. I slunk away in a sort of shame, and if you were me, you'd have done the same. For our thanks in giving, if oft delayed, though our freedom was bought and thousands paid, and so when we see a poppy worn, let us reflect on the burden borne by those who gave their very all when asked to answer their country's call, that we at home in peace might live, then wear a poppy, remember, and give.
History of the poppy. The use of the poppy as a symbol on Veterans Day, Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth, is derived from its symbolism in the poem in Flanders Field by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, MD, 1915. These poppies bloomed across some of the worst battlefields of Flanders in World War I. Flanders Fields is a stretch of very fertile land that runs from France to Belgium, also known as the Western Front. Poppy seeds can lay dormant in the ground for 80 years or more, but when disturbed, they will grow. Their brilliant red color is an appropriate symbol for the blood spilled in the war. The poem, In Flanders Field, by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, MD. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce are heard, amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived. We felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up your quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hand we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thanks, Jeff, Dave. At this time, we'll do our memorial service for our fellow veterans who have passed away since last Memorial Day. At this time, a representative of each veterans organization will place a poppy in the steel helmet as the deceased victim's name is read. They are Ron Ron, American Legion; Chuck Staub, AM Vets; Jeff Krako, Marine Corps League; and Paul Louth, VFW. As the deceased veterans' names are called out, the representative will answer veteran and answer absent loudly into the mic. Starting with Ron Ron. These are the deceased veterans from 2021 to present day 2022. John Abfall. Richard Barkus. Leroy Becker. Gerald Bell. Garfield Benson. Russell Bradley. Michael Breitweiser. William C. Buckingham. Donald L. Burnett. Ronald Buzzowitz. Stephen Clark. Joseph Cummerfield. Kevin P.R. Condren. Donald H. DeYoung. Donald Fissick. James Frank. Darrell W. Frank Sr. Howard D. Gibson. Robert Getch. Chuck Staub, AMVETS. Erwin Hammer.
Absent.
Fred D. Hine.
Absent.
Glenn Hildebrandt.
Absent.
Merlin E. Hinkies.
Absent.
Robert Hightie.
Absent.
Edward J. Hoekstra.
Absent.
Willard J. Hahn.
Absent.
Gerald R. Hovland.
Absent.
Thomas G. Huff.
Absent.
William Johnson.
Absent.
Richard Kaiser.
Absent.
Clarence Katzma.
Absent.
Scott F. Keller.
Absent.
One moment. It's a flyby. Charles Kelm.
Absent.
Gordon Kotnick.
Absent.
Gary Krieger.
Absent.
Marcel Krieger.
Absent.
Michael J. Lammers.
Absent.
Jeff Krako, Marine Corps League. Ernest Larson.
Absent.
Richard Linke.
Absent.
Robert Molly.
Absent.
Inez McMillan.
Absent.
Charles E. Mersch.
Absent.
Charles Meyer.
Absent.
Joseph Meyer.
Absent.
Gerald C. Michael.
Absent.
Roger Miller.
Absent.
Cyrus Morgan.
Absent.
William Mullen.
Absent.
Norbert Paulson.
Absent.
Joseph Poke.
Absent.
Raphael Prisk.
Absent.
Paul Reisen.
Absent.
Leonard Radel.
Absent.
Lawrence Sackett.
Absent.
David L. Shep.
Absent.
Paul Louth, VFW. Ready, Paul?
Yep.
Okay. Jeffrey R. Shakurki.
Absent.
Delmer Schultz.
Absent.
Howard Skogman.
Absent.
Harold Steinbeck.
Absent.
Chanuel J. Strife III.
Absent.
Palmer Teets.
Absent.
Richard Tomaszek,
Absent.
Paul Tomko,
Absent.
John Wagner,
Absent.
Cyril Wallentin,
Absent.
Roman Brian Weisensale,
Absent.
Roger Weisenberger,
Absent.
Howard F. Westfall,
Absent.
Warren C. Williams,
Absent.
Marlon H. Woodward,
Absent.
Frederick W. Ouch,
Absent.
Jonathan Ziegel,
Absent.
Wayne Zeilik.
Absent.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are now going to do the wreath ceremony, and due to the wind, it's been slightly altered, but we're going to read it anyway. The wreath ceremony begins now. Marine Corps, Delmar Winning, and VFW, Ty Lettle, along with guest speaker Andy Miller, who placed the wreath in front of the memorial wall in memory and honor of all veterans. All stand. All veterans uncover. We will now have a moment of silence. The Beaver Dam High School Band will now play the Battle Hymn of the Republic, directed by Drum Major Samantha Davis. Veterans, cover. Please remain standing. We will do our final salute. Thank you to Beaver Dam High School Band, Drum Major Davis, Marine Corps, League, Del Winning, VFW Tyler Lettle, and Andy Miller. All military units, come to attention. American Legion Post 146 Honor Squad will now give a rifle salute. Rifle Squad Commander Dave Kleindl, bring your unit to attention. Prepare your men to fire 3 volleys in honor and memory of our departed comrades. Dueling buglers, Adam Meyer, Gail Balaza Calvo from Beaver Dam High School will play taps. Military squads and veterans remain covered and present arms. Buglers. Order arms. At ease. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Buglers, thank you. We are honored today to have Andy Miller, Dodge County Veteran Service Officer, as our guest speaker today. He was appointed to that position in May of 2015. Andy enlisted in the National Guard in 1989. Joined the regular Army in 1991 following the Gulf War. He spent about 9 years in Germany and 3 years in Southwest Asia between Iraq, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. The rest of his time was serving throughout the U.S. with no more than 3 years at any one given duty station. He retired from the Army just shy of 22 years. His professional background is predominantly in information technology and telecommunications, but he has been involved in veteran services since 2020. He advised and mentored students, veteran organizations at Marion University for a few years. He is the current immediate past president of CVSO Association of Wisconsin and serves as the chair of the Information Technology and Resolutions Committee. He enjoys outdoors, reading, movies, and any kinds of sports, both as a participant and a spectator. He also enjoys mud and obstacle runs. Okay. He is a leader in both the Campbellsport Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. He most enjoys his time with his 2 sons, 16 and 14. Andy? Good to see you. Take this out of your way.
Morning. Del, thank you for the introduction and welcome. As was stated, my name's Andy Miller and I'm the Dodge County Veteran Service Officer. And I could stand up here and talk about those 22 years that Del talked about, but today is not about me. Today is about those who have sacrificed all. The reasons behind choosing military service differ from person to person, but as varied as the reasons are, there's a universal understanding. Service means sacrifice, even if that sacrifice is one's own life. The impact of this ultimate sacrifice ripples through our communities. The deaths of service members touch more than just the families and the lives of loved ones and friends. When their stories are shared in our neighborhoods, our homes, our schools, and in our places of worship, these men and women become a part of the collective identity of our hometowns. The stories of their sacrifices live on in the pride of memories and their loved ones, and at observances just like this, and through inscriptions on memorials like the walls surrounding us, and plaques dedicated to the legacy of their generation. Woven into the fabric of our country are those who died while wearing the cloth of our nation. They instill a sense of pride. They inspire new generations to raise their hands in service. There is no greater sacrifice than to offer one's life for the greater good. As President Lincoln once observed more than 150 years ago, the extraordinary war in which we find ourselves engaged falls heavily upon all classes of people, but most heavily upon the soldier. For it has been said, all that a man hath will he give his life for. And while all contribute their substance, the soldier puts his life at stake and often yields it up in his country's cause. The highest merit, then, is due to the soldier. This respect we've given to our fallen speaks to the value we place on their service. And it's not just here at home where we remember them. These tributes begin at the very spots where they selflessly gave their lives, both for the brothers and sisters they stood shoulder to shoulder with, and for their country. Tributes include the Battlefield Cross, which some historians say has roots in the Civil War. It's most recognizable today as a helmet resting on top of an inverted rifle stuck in the ground, with boots placed in front, dog tags hanging from the rifle. On the battlefield, members of the unit can come to this memorial and pay their final respects. In more recent conflicts, the memorial also paid tribute to those who died with fallen comrade and ramp ceremonies. These are a part of the dignified transfer, the solemn return of the service members from the theater of war back to the United States and to their loved ones and to their place of final rest. The Fallen Comrade ceremony happens at places including Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan and Balad Air Base in Iraq. The remains of those killed in action in theater were brought to the base, no matter the hour of day or night, when the announcement of their arrival came over the loudspeakers, often mere hours after the person's death. Military personnel who were not on guard duty would line the road leading to the base's flight line and render a final salute as the Humvee passed, carrying the body, which would slowly pass to a waiting aircraft. On the flight line, a small group then conducted the ramp ceremony, carrying the transfer case onto the aircraft and draping an American flag for its journey to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, and then on to its final destination. But some who died while serving have not made it back home yet to the United States. We honor them through tributes such as the Missing Man Table. It's an opportunity to reflect on those who are still missing or are prisoners of war. But we don't just reflect, we act by continuing to look for them. We honor their sacrifice. The Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency sends teams all over the world to tirelessly search land and sea to recover the remains of those who haven't returned home. This is especially true here in Wisconsin. Since 2014, the UW-Madison has a group of people that have assisted the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency in identifying and bringing home 3 service members who were lost. And they're continuing to work on a project to identify and bring home specifically Wisconsin service members who are MIA. Through this work, they bring people home and make families whole. People like Corporal Thomas Cooper, who was killed in 1943 during the Battle of Tarawa in Central Pacific. In 2019, more than 76 years after his death, they identified his remains, which along with those of 93 other unknown deceased, have been moved from Honolulu to the continental United States. He was finally brought home, and decades after his death, his family was able to bury him with full honors at Arlington National Cemetery this past March. And we're still looking for the rest. Some of those who are still missing were killed aboard Japanese hell ships during World War II. It's estimated that nearly 126,000 Allied prisoners died on these Japanese hell ships moving between Philippines and Japan. We must continue to share their stories, to remember what they sacrificed for the rest of us. Because few men and women choose to put their lives on the line to serve and defend the Constitution. Few go toward danger. Few willingly face atrocities most of us can't fathom. Few volunteer to serve, knowing that death may be the outcome. But we can ensure that those who make this choice and make the ultimate sacrifice can rest, knowing that they have served with the thanks of grateful citizens such as ourselves, and knowing that they will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. It's been a pleasure having you today. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge all area veterans who have given their ultimate sacrifice so we can celebrate our country's freedom every day. As you can see by the names of these on the honor walls behind us and all around us, in this Memorial Park, we pay homage to some of our own area veterans. Please give these American heroes a well-deserved round of applause. At this time, also, I would like to acknowledge all of our area World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans who have been honor rights recipients over the years. Would you please stand? He can stay sitting. Let him stay. The only one? Back here we got several. Very good. Please remain standing if you can. We have many other World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans in attendance who haven't been able to participate in the Honor Flight program as of yet. We also have veterans present from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars here today. At this time, would all veterans please rise to be acknowledged and recognized? All of you. Thank you. Please remain standing. For our final song today, the Beaver Dam High School Band will play God Bless America under the direction of Drum Major Elena Smith. Please join along in the singing. Thank you, Beaver Dam High School Band and Drum Major Smith. Please be seated. At this time, VFW Commander Ty Lettle will read a poem. This one you picked? There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Soldier by Ed Coet, Major, U.S. Army, retired. I saw a burial with a bugler playing taps. I turned to my father. What happened? I asked. He clutched my hand, and with a quiver in his voice, he began to explain, and his eyes became moist. My son, he said, this is rather difficult for me. For old veterans like myself, this is tough to see. In that coffin lies a genuine patriotic warrior, an honest-to-God hero, an American soldier. I appreciate that soldier and the service he gave, and I honor his sacrifice as he laid in his grave. He was honorable, selfless, courageous, and bold. Please remember him, son, as you grow old. The value of his service I must explain. If not remembered, will be lost in vain. As a nation, we're nothing without soldiers like him. And failing to remember would be a terrible sin. I listened in awe as my father spoke. It seemed as if his heart were broke. I suddenly remembered when he went to war, and when he returned, I thought nothing more. I never asked why he walked with a limp, and I didn't care about why he was sick. I was too busy enjoying life that I had to realize that I had it because of my dad. I finally understood what my dad was about, and it hurt so bad I cried out loud. He sacrificed so much so I could be free, and his battle scars were suffered for me. It was my father's spirit that spoke to me that day. Thank God I finally understood what he had to say. I saluted his coffin as they laid him to rest, and I thought about the medals pinned on his chest. That I didn't honor him sooner, I will always regret. And I pledged that day to never again forget. I'm proud that my dad was a patriot warrior. I'm honored to be the son of an American soldier.
Thanks. Thank you, Ty. Marine Corps League past Department Commander Jeff Krakel will give us a brief history of Memorial Day, why it was established.
Memorial Day is an American holiday. It was originally called Decoration Day, as a day of remembrance for those who have died in service of the United States of America. Memorial Day was born out of the Civil War and his desire to honor our dead. It was officially proclaimed on May 5th, 1868 by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic. It is designated for the purpose of decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. The first state to officially recognize the holiday was New York in 1873. By 1890, it was recognized by all of the northern states. The South refused to acknowledge the day, honoring their dead on separate days until after World War I, when the holiday changed from honoring just those who died fighting in the Civil War to honoring all Americans who died fighting in any war. 1968, Congress passed Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which established Memorial Day as the last Monday in May in order to create a 3-day weekend for federal employees. The change went into effect in 1971. The same law also declared Memorial Day as a federal holiday. Still, many Americans visit cemeteries and memorials to observe Memorial Day by decorating the graves of fallen comrades with flowers. It is traditional to fly the flag of the United States at half-staff from dawn until noon. Many volunteers and our very own local veterans organizations place an American flag on each veteran's grave in local cemeteries.
Thank you, Jeff. I wish to thank the Memorial Committee for today's ceremony. They are Gert Herman, over there, Dave Kleindl over here, Bob Cook, Paul Louth, Ron, Lois Levenhagen over there, Ty Lettle, you just here, Connie Martinson, Dave Noe and Ross and Kathy O'Brien also. Chuck and Linda Staub, they helped put the flowers out here. Del Winning, Sandy Berg, Jeff Krako, Don Zillish, and myself. Sorry if we missed anyone. We also want to voice our thanks to the Board of Directors and their staff and grounds crew, Oakwood Cemetery, for their special care of the Veterans Memorial Park and facilities. Also, thank you to Fleet Farm for these lovely flowers, and a special thank you to the hardworking volunteers, including John Deere Performance and Reliability Engineering Group, who helped beautify the grounds last Friday. Thanks to the Daily Citizen for informing our community of this special event and the ceremony. Thank you to the area funeral homes who provided their services to veterans' families and given us the names of the deceased for today's program. And a big thank you to Dale Wall and crew for the flyover who made our Memorial Day extra special. They gave a real sacrifice at the cost of gasoline nowadays. Thank you to all veterans, veteran organizations, and auxiliary members who were part of this ceremony. A special thank you to our guest speaker, Andy Miller, and Mayor Becky Gluen. Thanks goes for the many helping hands of Scout Troop 6838 and leader of the group, Becky Kiggert, for helping out with parking and seating and those attendants. Small flags distributed to you this day before the ceremony were from the Beaver Dam Exchange Club. Thanks also to the Knights of Columbus over there, Captain Chad Enright, Beaver Dam Fire Department out there, who provided their EMS services, City of Beaver Dam, who provided the park benches, and the Dodge County Sheriff's Department, who will be helping with traffic control after the ceremony. Thank you to the Beaver Dam High School band directors, Russell Diggins, Kyle Hendrickson, drum majors Elena Smith, Samantha Davis, Ella Rowe, Beaver Dam High School band, singers Elisa Brown, Elisa Mangan, and Brendan Simon, and the dueling buglers, Adam Meyer and Gail Velez Calvo. Also, thank you to Director Kim Lopez, St. Catherine Drexel Marching Band, and drum majors Madeline Fry and Bernadette Ramirez, and Flag Corps Captain Mary's Walt. These bands provided us with patriotic music to complete our ceremony for fallen veterans. Special thank you to Beaver Dam, WBEV, and Daily Dodge for broadcasting to the community this program and who made this live broadcast possible so everyone could attend personally at home to honor our veterans. Now we will have benediction by AMVETS Chaplain Connie Martinson. Everyone please stand. Veterans uncover. There you go, Connie.
Almighty God, today we pause to pay tribute to our dearly departed. We honor the memory of the valiant servant men and women who made the supreme sacrifice so that we may live in a country that is free. May they rest in peace. Keep their families in your good graces. Give them peace and comfort. Let us always be reminded of the wonderful lives we have because of their service. Thank you for the many blessings you have given our country. We can stand tall in the knowledge that you have blessed us with your grace. We also remember all those currently serving in the armed forces. Protect and defend them. Grant that they continue to serve you and our country with honor and dignity. We also ask that you watch over the veterans of our country. Comfort those who are suffering physical, emotional, and mental illness. Relieve their suffering and bring them back to full health so that they may continue to serve you. In ending, Lord, we thank you for your many blessings. You have been most generous. We ask that you heal our country. Bring us back to the fullness we enjoyed before the coronavirus changed our lives. Bless us with health and healing, and let us remember what is most important to us: family, friends, and you, O Lord. Amen.
Veterans cover. Everyone please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Martinson. Thanks to everyone who came out today and listened to today's broadcast ceremony. And please thank WBV who made this ceremony extra special day. Have a safe and healthy the rest of your vacation or your day off. Commanders of all color guards and directors of the school band, take charge of your units. Everyone please pick up after yourselves before leaving. This concludes our service. Thank you.
Memorial Day programming on your hometown station 1430 WBEV is presented by Central Incorporated, Hometown Glass and Improvement, John Deere Horicon Works, McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Kirsch Foundry, and Air Care.